So this is just something that just came to my mind. You are to the regular, conventional, scientific society what, like, the ego is to the human being, in the sense that you come to shake it all up, put everything upside down, and help people think in a different way.
Right.
And in one way or the other, looking at from, you've done a lot of inner work and meditation. This idea that of this ego that we have is possibly there just as an obstacle to help us learn who we really are, not to stay in it. It's just a tool,
right?
But we've identified with the tool, not with the essence.
That's right, exactly right. The ego, and you know, it's just like when you're learning to walk, you're gonna fall, and you need to fall in order to learn to walk. And so, you know, the ego and the misconceptions and, you know, what I would call the veil is crucial to push us to evolve, to transform, to get deeper truth, and to transcend, you know, previously believed ideas. And, you know, it's always a little bit difficult. It's always a little bit of a push. You know,
it's part of our makeup. It seems that we humans don't learn unless we go through crisis or even suffering. Mm-hmm. And you know,
but you see that in the universe everywhere. It's not just human. You know, you see galaxies colliding with each other. You see, you know, there is destruction and there is amazing construction. And so it's part of that cycle of evolution. And how far we have to go in the destruction before we learn the lesson, that's just up to us. Because I think the universe has given us everything we need to be amazingly abundant, thrive in the universe, and, you know, reduce suffering to very minimal.
But suffering, I'm thinking about the double torus. Mm-hmm. If there's the light, if there's the positive, there's the negative. If there's the light, there's the obscurity or darkness.
The darkness.
So both are needed.
Yes.
Yeah. They cancel out in the singularity point.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there's an infinite amount of gray between light and dark. Mm-hmm. And, you know, so even if, I mean, if we were to transcend this level of difficulty right now, we'll enter in another level. Maybe everybody's taken care of. There's no more children dying every second from malnutrition, and we've got infinite energy and we can travel through the universe. We will still have, you know, challenges and difficulties, but they'll be at a different level, meaning, you know, it's never gonna be as bad as, you know, starving and dying and all this, but it may be, you know, different levels of that will continue to force us to evolve, because the universe is constantly evolving. It's constantly learning about itself. The universe is a great learning about itself, amazing feedback structure.
So I got two questions about this for you. First of all, when you refer to the universe, mm-hmm. what are you referring to?
I'm referring to everything. And, you know, a physicist or an astrophysicist would say, well, that would be 10 to the 28 centimeters. That'd be the bubble, you know, the universe, right? When I think of the universe, I have the big U in front of the universe, meaning the bubble we're in is just one bubble in a larger one, which is a bubble in a larger one, and so on. So I'm meaning all multiverses when I mean universe.
Okay. And what's the source of the universe? How did it came to be?
This is a really profound question. You know, when I was writing the math that led me to the discoveries I've made, and working out the conceptual understanding of it, I came to that place where I had to say, so what was the start? And that was probably one of the hardest moments in my research. It took me weeks, and I was here actually in Joshua Tree when this happened, living in a van, climbing every day. And I actually had to stop work. I could not continue studying for almost 3 weeks, or at least 2, where I had to kind of integrate that maybe, just maybe, there was never a chicken or an egg. You know, that there was never a beginning, and to actually let go of that's a concept of man, but that there's just infinite cycles from infinitely far back to infinitely future, that there is not a start, to let go of the idea of a start, but that we can understand the dynamics, right, at its most profound level, meaning understanding matter creation and universe creation and all this. You know, like one bubble, but that bubble, we can understand when it started, you know, how it got there, and that bubble is in a larger one, and that's in a larger one, that's in a so there's infinite amount of stars.
So as you go infinitely in through the atoms and find that it is infinite, that's going inside, do you think it's also infinite going outside?
That's right.
So
and that's really kind of the miracle of the whole thing. And so it leaves the miracle in, you know me.
So where do you think that human beings have had the need to believe in the existence of a higher power, a God, or a logos, like a God, that makes us believe that there is something bigger, and we have not really maybe understood what this is all about? Why would we, in our makeup, have the need to believe, if we are a reflection of the universe with all these atoms, full of the whole information of the world, of the universe, there must be some information in our genetic codification in our atoms that make us, as a global consciousness, to have this idea of a God. Why would we create something like that?
That's a really good question too. I think that's because there's internally, because of this connectivity with everything, there's a sense that there's something greater that's manipulating this evolution, meaning that we're part of a larger mechanics that is coordinating everything and that loves all of its creation, and that's present everywhere in its creation, omniscient, omnipresent, and so on. So we get that sense inside of us, and so we call it God, and we might make it even look like a human being because we're thinking, you know, in our terms. But I think this is why. It's because internally we know that we're part of a greater movement. And I think that here we're starting to realize, no, it's not some religious God, it's not this God or that God, it's actually the whole multiverse connecting to everything. So God consciousness is everywhere. Yeah.
Now, what comes to mind now is that something about the singularity point again. If that is the source of the spiraling movements in their opposite polarity, but this is the 0 point, wouldn't it be more or like something would make sense that the God consciousness would come or stem from the singularity point?
That's right, absolutely. That would be like the link, you know, that would be like the plug in to the universal net would be the singularity, all the information. It's like the crossing of all the information network in the singularity. And that's why when people go towards the inside, towards their singularity, and reaches there, they have a feeling of enlightenment. You know, all the masters describe it as nirvana, you know, great joy, great feeling of being held by all of the universe, that by being loved by all the universe, and having answer to any question. And so, you know, I think that that is actually very, very important. Yeah.
Do you think the universe has a pulse like the heart? Like a pulse?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because I have had a feeling and a need to, when I go inside, to connect with the universe pulse, the universal pulse. Like by connecting with the universal pulse, even though I might not be totally conscious of what it's about. But if I connect to the universal pulse, I can actually know exactly what to do.
Right.
Would that make any sense? Well, like Double Source meditation and the heart chakra.
Absolutely.
Do you think so? That's something that all of us humans would need to start doing right now in this time of so much changes and stuff that is freaking people out?
Yeah, actually, going towards the singularity, going towards the center, is like going towards a place where, there is stability. In this great chaos, especially at this time, going back to center is like going to the middle of the spin where it's not spinning, so that you can center yourself. And it's very crucial. Yeah, absolutely. It is pulsing with all the energies of the universe. And so on the edge of singularity is that pulse. And by going to singularity, you're harmonizing with that natural pulse of life. And it has positive spiritual impact on you and consciousness impact on you, but as well, it has the possibility of having physiologically positive impact.
Yeah, but it's interesting, like when we go inside on meditation, and when we say look inside, when humans start looking inside it's not limited by the physical body. It's limitless. Is that the word? Limitless?
Yes, absolutely.
It's endless.
It's endless.
We are infinite. Because when we go close our eyes and look inside, there's no sense necessarily of the borders or the frontiers of our body, but just as infinite as the whole universe.
That's right. Because there's infinite possibility of division within you. So, yeah, you're reaching infinity within you. People say to me, I can't visualize infinity. And that's because they're trying to visualize infinitely big. But actually, if you go inside, you can experience infinity within yourself.
So the idea of, again, I would like to pick up on the suggestions that you have for people in this time of change and chaos. What would be the most important thing for people to do?
Take the time to go towards singularity. At least, even if it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes every day, to turn your senses inward and go to infinite, the center of your existence.
Like emptiness.
Emptiness.
Or like silence. Or
exactly.
The middle of the hurricane.
The middle of the hurricane.
Most of people's lives nowadays is like a hurricane. So if we go to the middle of it, it'll be peaceful.
That's right. That's where peace comes from.
What are we going to gain from
and joy.
Joy.
Yeah.
So what are we going to gain?
Well, you gain a lot of joy. You gain a sense of self as well. You discover who you really are. It might become more clear what's your dharma, what's your mission. It might remove some of the misconception you have about yourself and the world and everything. And as well, during your day, when you're in the chaos, right? When you're in the spin and you're having a bad day, if you've gone to your center every morning, you can easily go back there and recenter within seconds.
But how do we
But
get
if you
there?
never go there, you don't know where that is.
With so much